Within the past 15 minutes, things have changed 180 degrees once more from a brand new post from President Trump that completely contradicts the statement from Saturday night, which we covered yesterday. It has resulted in crude oil dropping by 15% in 15 minutes, the price of Bitcoin to reclaim 71K, the 10-year yield dropping by 20 basis points, and gold reclaiming the $4,400 mark. Why is this taking place? How does this change the geopolitical scene? This is exactly what I want to talk about in today's video. If you appreciate these breaking news video formats, then please go ahead and destroy the like button. You've done a phenomenal job last night. 430 likes. Thank you all so much. If we can do the same or reach 500, that would be amazing. Subscribe for daily content. And if you're looking to trade the current ongoing volatility on crude oil, on the price of gold, the price of silver, check out BTCC using the second link in the description down below to get a phenomenal bonus for the crypto kids that use that link specifically. If you want to trade Bitcoin, then check out LevX using the first link in the description down below. Let's go into what President Trump said. He noted that he's pleased to report that the United States of America have had over the last 2 days very good and productive conversations regarding a complete and total resolution of their hostilities within the Middle East. He has instructed the Department of War to postpone any and all military strikes against the Iranian power plants and energy infrastructure for 5 days. On Saturday night, he said that if Iran doesn't fully open without threats the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours, which would have been about 13 hours from now, the US will hit and obliterate their various power plants. The Strait of Hormuz has not been fully opened, as you can see over on marine traffic. The Iranian government, according to the Kobesi letter, has replied in a threaty manner, but President Trump is stating that they've had productive talks, even though we're seeing from Iran, which could be true or not true, that there wasn't any direct or indirect contact with Trump, and claims that he withdrew after threatening to attack. So it's a very interesting environment. Simon Dixon over on Twitter says that President Trump would have had to tackle at some point because the 10-year yield has reached levels that are unsustainable for debt refinancing. Remember, the US is sitting at $39 trillion of debt, of which $9 trillion need to be refinanced and refunded in 2026 alone. The average rate of which those debts are being paid at is 3.3%. So a 1% jump would result in hundreds of billions of dollars additional interest payment on the debt that has already surpassed their yearly military spending. So that's a horrible thing from an economic point of view. The reason why Trump was pressuring Fed Chair Powell to cut rates was simply for fiscal policy to not have to go and pay tens and hundreds of billions more on interest rates. That was the reason. But the irony has resulted in the US going to war, which has ramped up the national debt, which has increased the 10-year yield, and with the Fed out of the picture, they would still need to pay more in interest rate payments. And this is a decision that was given by the executive branch of government. So there's a lot of contradictions, a lot of uncertainty. Let's pray for the sake of the world that the war is over and it will come to an end swiftly. We don't have a confirmation on that yet. But if we do, Bitcoin specifically would see a relief rally into the 80s. So far, we're still in the bear flag, so I think it pays more dividends to be a pessimist for the markets rather than being an optimist. But yeah, it's interesting. I think the yields need to come down. President Trump's popularity in polling data has reduced to the lowest point since the beginning of his second term as president. Most people in America are going against the Iranian conflict. They don't agree with it. So I don't see how this is benefiting Trump or America in any way, shape, or form. Maybe Trump has realized that. Maybe he realized that the economical side of things don't add up. Crude oil is still around $90. I mean, even this dump, after this dump, it's still around $100, $90. That's enough to bring inflation to the 5% levels over the next few months if escalations continue. So from an economic point of view, yes, it will hurt Southeast Asian countries. We're seeing the Southeast Asian stock markets go down. The Kospi was seeing a hit. Southeast Asian countries are fully dependent on energy imports. So as energy imports become more expensive, then their local stock markets will go down because they will have to pay more. Yes, the world is seeing a big impact to it. Maybe America's seeing a little bit less of an impact, but I think it's a big enough impact for President Trump to say, hey, you know what, let's get this over with. No confirmations as of right now, but if we do see it, I think Bitcoin can see a small relief rally into the 80s. Pays more to be a pessimist from my point of view for Bitcoin's price particularly. Gold has rallied by 300% since 2022. So the 10% correction we're having today or 20% correction is reflective of a normal correction, a healthy correction you get from a 300% move to the upsides. Regardless, we set at 4.9, the RSI is showing a huge bearish divergence. The MACD is crossing bearish. Be careful. So congrats if you were careful with commodities like gold and silver. And if you want to trade the volatility, again, links are down in the description to BTCC for TradFi goods and then LoveX for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Very interesting times. We're going to have to stay up to date. Strait of Hormuz still remains to be looking like it's not fully operational. We will be live streaming in 2 hours' time on the Moon Show. So by then, if we get any new alerts to the current ongoing situation, it will be delivered there. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll see you all in the next video soon. Bye-bye.